This video is brought to you by Scopic.com. Get yours now.
Hey guys, this is Phil from Education.com. So we're going to take a look at the Sony Xperia M5, so-called the super mid-ranger from Sony. That's their tagline. Alright, so it seems pretty nice. It's got a Helio X10, check, 3GB of RAM, and good-looking design is resembling the flagship design of Sony, and the Android Lollipop. Good camera. It's got a better camera than even some of their previous flagships. So it seems like a nice offer. Is it worth buying? Let's take a look. Let's take a look at the front. It's got a 5 inches of a full HD display, no keys because they're known for their love for the soft key, and the receiver and the camera, very comparatively large camera enabled with the autofocus, and a very high resolution for a selfie cam. On the right, we got this signature Sony power key with a volume rocker with a dedicated two-step camera shutter key. On the bottom, we got the micro SD port, and yes, it's exposed, and yes, it's waterproof. So we can call that a capless waterproof. And you can see the speaker over there. Having a speaker there should tell you something about the two holes on the bottom and top. They're not the stereo speaker like we have on the Sony flagships. They are just there. It's a microphone, it's a receiver, and the actual speaker is there. So it's not stereo. On the left, we got a flap that lets the micro SD card and the nano SIM card into the phone. And on the top, we got an earphone jack along with the secondary microphone. And on the back, we got the camera over there with the LED flash and NFC Sony, and that's pretty much it. And compared to the flagship over there, it doesn't say anything fancy like the Sony G lens over there. So no, it doesn't have anything like that, but at least it has a better sensor. On the front and back is covered with the glass, and unlike the Sony flagships, it's not covered with the metal chassis, but it's rather a plastic, a very bling-blingy plastic if you get the gold color scheme especially. And you can definitely feel it when you're holding it in your hand that it's not exactly the premium material, but at least it looks very likely with the flagships. Let's dive into the software. It's got a Helio X10 and the Sony Xperia skin on top of it. I think they used to call this the Rachel interface. I'm not sure if they still do. But it's got an Android 5.1 compared to the Android 5.0.1 when it was firstly launched. It should be able to get the Android Marshmallow updates pretty soon if Sony is not late again. And overall launcher and everything else is just typical Sony's. There's nothing special. There's custom order. There's Sony What's New. It's like Sony's App Store, and that's pretty much it. Sony tries to keep it clean, and there's even some themes that you can change or download out of their store. And yeah, everything's pretty nice. Although I wouldn't say that this is very well optimized. It's got a Helio X10 processor, and it is actually a pretty powerful one, as we have seen from the Xiaomi Redmi Note 3. We weren't particularly angry about its performances, but with this guy, performance is definitely a matter. When you're launching some stuff, it shouldn't bring you much of the problem, but when you're multitasking and sorts, it does show some lags over here. You will see lags here and there. And it seems like that 3GB of comparatively sufficient RAM isn't doing much to help it out. The one punch over here is the camera. And how does it turn out? Well, let's start with firing the camera up. So we can tap and hold on the camera. And the thing that we found out is that it doesn't launch as fast as it wanted to be. So when it's locked on the screen, you'll most likely going to tap and hold on the camera shutter key to fire them up. That's not particularly very fast. And Sony's Superior Auto still is not doing very good. It's a well-known Sony tip to not use a Superior Auto. It's not superior at all. So you will have to find yourself going to manual mode very often. There's a scene mode over here, and there's some manual things that you can do, although there's not much. There are lots of other modes, but you wouldn't really use them much, except for the style portrait. When you're using the selfie cam, there are lots of filters over there, so you can change the modes or the beauty shot level over there, so you'll like that at least. But the selfie cam itself isn't that good though. The face recognition didn't really get my face, and the filters are a lot worse than more high-end phones like the Samsung or the LG or even some Chinese phones like Huawei. And the overall camera quality is actually pretty disappointing. Yes, it's better than the previous Xperias, because previous Xperias has terrible cameras, especially in the year of 2016. But it doesn't mean that the M5 has a good camera. It has slightly better camera than the previous Xperias, that's it. It's not on par with this Galaxy S6 or the G4, or even than some of the Motorola's. Okay, it doesn't really sound appealing. Then how about the battery life? Sony is known for their battery management. Yes, it's got a stamina mode, and 2600 milliamps with the 5 inches of Full HD display with Helio X10 doesn't really seem like much of the burden on the battery. It sounds like it should stably give me about 4 hours to 4.5 hours with that ratio. But no, it fails to do that. Rather, it gives me 3 hours or sometimes even less than the 3 hours of the screen on time. Yes, that was without the stamina mode on, but even with the stamina mode on, I was able to get only like 10 minutes more of the screen on time. It could be the Helio X10 or it could be Sony. I'm not sure, but the battery life isn't good at all. And it doesn't even support the fast charging, so it would take ages to fully charge your battery. And of course, it's not a flagship, so when you look at the screen ratio, you can see that at the almost same dimensions, the Xperia Z3 has 5.2 inches, while Xperia M5 only has 5 inches of the display, so that's a bad screen to display ratio. Okay, then what is it good for? Let's take a look. What do you ask for a smartphone? Good display? Yeah, it's okay. Performance? Nope. Camera? No. Camera launch fast? No. Good looking design? Yeah, perhaps you could say that, although I think it's too much of a bling bling on the side. Tablet's waterproof? Yeah, sure, I think you can say that, although I wouldn't say Sony's waterproof capability is very stable or reliable. Sound quality? Yeah, actually, sound quality is actually pretty good. Unless you listen to the music with your speaker. Battery life? No. Really? Then what is it good for? I don't know. It's not good for anything. All right, then some alternative times. So it's retailing about $360 in the US. So with that price, you can get the LG G4, in some regions even Galaxy S6, or the Moto X, whether that be Pure Edition or the Moto X Play. If you're a die-hard Sony fan, you can even get the Sony Xperia Z3 or the Z3 Plus in some regions with the same price or even cheaper. So you're saying that I should get the Xperia Z3 instead of the M5? Yes, definitely you should get the Z3 rather than the M5. Only if you're a die-hard Sony fan. If you're not particularly looking for Sony, you should go for other vendors' phones. The only better thing that I see from the M5 than the other competitors is probably the waterproof. All right, I hope that was very clear. You shouldn't get the M5 no matter what. There are plenty of alternatives, and that's the good thing about the market economy. You should enjoy it. Oh, and Sony, if you continue to do this, and it seems like it's the case right now, you are going to fail, like more. Thank you always for watching, and I will get back hopefully with the better phone next time. So stay tuned with Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, and Google Plus of under KG, and we'll see you guys later with better phones. Ciao.